Hey guys, LevelCap here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the weapon changes that are incoming for PC and Xbox. The PlayStation 3 users out there have already had these for a few days. Ultimately, I don't think they're going to be too drastic, but there are some interesting things to note. To start off with assault rifles, there are 4 of them that are getting tweaked: the M416, the L85A2, the AUG, and the FAMAS. The M416 is getting an increase in its first shot recoil and its horizontal recoil. The decision for this was to try and make it more competitive or more interesting to decide between the M16 and the M416. I already thought it was kind of an interesting choice, but I do agree with sort of giving the M416 a little bit of a nerf, not because of the M16, but actually because there's a lot of other long-range assault rifles that just get beat out by the M416 currently. And speaking of longer range assault rifles that don't really stand a chance against the M416, the L85A2 is getting a slight reduction to its horizontal recoil. Not sure how far this is going to be, but I agree with this decision just because the horizontal recoil is the only thing holding this gun back from being an effective long-range weapon. The AUG is getting a decrease to its first shot recoil. The intention of this is to make the weapon a little bit more controllable. I'm not sure this is going to really change too much with the gun in general. The AUG has an interesting place in the assault rifle realm, sort of a hybrid of long range and close range with some good hipfire accuracy. The FAMAS is getting a slight reduction in its horizontal recoil. It really depends how much this reduction is, if it's going to make the FAMAS more useful. Currently, I really can't stand the FAMAS just because of its insanely long reload time, which actually got reduced last patch, but only by like a fraction of a second, really not making much of a change. Some of the lesser popular carbines are getting tweaked. The G53 is getting a slight reduction to its vertical recoil with the hopes of making it more controllable. I don't think that's going to be a huge change overall. I already kind of liked the G53, but I didn't think it was an amazing gun. The QBZ95B is getting a reduction to its horizontal recoil, which is significantly high, and that'll be interesting. I actually like following the QBZ just because it's one of the few weapons that you can attach a heavy barrel and a laser sight to. And now for some machine gun tweaks. The LSAT and the Type 88, two of the worst machine guns in the game, possibly some of the worst guns in the game. The LSAT has been given an increased hipfire accuracy to highlight the weapon's role as a highly mobile light machine gun. The Type 88 has had its recoil decreased to make it a more viable option when compared to the M249. Will these changes make a huge difference? Probably not. I still think that the LSAT and the Type 88 are going to be generally bad machine guns, and frankly I think most of the machine guns just need a whole rebalance in how they actually function. I think Battlefield 3 could really take a page out of the PlanetSide book, where LMGs are much more effective at medium to longer range engagements, and this just gives them a much more important role on the battlefield, and I would love to see some real significant changes incoming to the light machine guns. Now how about the PDWs? The M5K, that little death machine, is getting an increase in its horizontal recoil, and this is to focus it on being a much more effective close quarter weapon and less effective at medium range. I agree with this. I could basically hip fire with the M5K at medium range and pretty much outdamage anybody who I was going up against. It was identical to a AEK, except that it had more accurate hip fire. So people were just like using this gun in close quarters and medium range maps and absolutely destroying without even having to aim down sights. I totally agree with trying to nerf the M5K. Now apparently they're going to decrease the rate of fire of the UMP45, which already only fires at 600 rounds per minute. I have to disagree with this. The reason that they're doing this is to try and differentiate it more from the PP2000. I think they're totally going the wrong way about this, because the UMP45, in my opinion, pretty much sucks. It's got great hipfire accuracy, but its damage output is so low compared to other faster firing weapons, and if you miss a shot with the UMP45, you're pretty much screwed in a firefight, because it shoots slow, it does high damage, and its range is just absolutely terrible. If you really want to differentiate the UMP from the PP2000, Don't make the UMP worse, make the PP2000 better. The fact is, it's not a very good gun to begin with. It's kind of fun, but it's not any sort of powerhouse that even comes close to being overpowered. Maybe give it some sort of extended magazine, anything to try and just boost it and differentiate it more from the UMP45. Apparently the MP412 Rex pistol is getting an increase in accuracy to differentiate it from the 44 Magnum. I agree with trying to differentiate these pistols, but I don't agree with their route that they're taking. When they say increase in accuracy, I assume they mean aiming down sights accuracy. Unfortunately, the Rex has some terrible iron sights, which makes it really hard to ADS and hit your targets. The Magnum has great aiming down sights, iron sights, and I really wish they had increased the hipfire accuracy of the Rex to try and differentiate it from the Magnum more. The Magnum's such a big honkin' pistol that it just doesn't seem like it would be a very good hipfire weapon at all. The Rex is smaller, make it better at hipfiring. That seems like a better way to differentiate it since it already has such bad iron sights. Now, last thing I want to talk about here is a weapon, but it's not an infantry weapon. It is the main cannon on the gunship, the one that has the splash damage and the infrared sights, making it extremely easy to target infantry and just blow them away easily. This is DICE's attempt to still try and balance the gunship. We'll have to see if it works out. What they're doing is they're getting rid of the infrared view, so now it's not going to be as easy to just pick like the biggest group of infantry and just shoot a cannon right into them, killing them all. And they're also reducing the splash damage radius, so you're going to have to be a little bit more accurate with your shots. I agree with these changes. I don't know if they'll actually be able to balance out the gunship, but anything to nerf it and make it less effective is okay in my book. So that's it for the weapon changes that are incoming for the PC and Xbox and that the PlayStation 3 users have had for several days now. I don't think any guns are going to stand out as being overpowered. I think overall it's a pretty good patch. I don't agree with all of the changes and that some of it could have been perhaps a little bit better thought out, but ultimately I think it's a good thing. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.